First of all, it's campaign season. Things are crazy, but you got a good luck charm. Tell me about your granddaughter.
So we actually have our two granddaughters here with us. This is their first exposure to campaigning, and I'm so excited to have them here. Their plane was late. They were 3 hours late, but they made it in late last night, and they're going to be part of this convention. I'm excited.
Well, it's fantastic. How do you feel about this?
Good.
That's great. So let me ask you this. We have been talking about high-speed rail, and Governor Dukakis was on earlier. The fact is that, you know, your opponent, Scott Brown, would just eliminate this. Mitt Romney would eliminate this. This is an important part of how we rebuild America. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. You know, I think that's what this whole election is about. Do we believe that the way we build a future is to say, I got mine, the rest of you are on your own? Or do we believe the way we build a future is that all of us make the investments in the conditions we need for real success? And a big part of that is transportation. We have to make the investments in upgrading our transportation system and expanding our transportation system. That is absolutely vital to the future of the Commonwealth. But the big principle, making investments for the future, is really the key. I think that's what this election's going to be about.
You've been a fighter all your life for financial reform. You got a guy in Scott Brown who's taken more money from Wall Street than any other candidate, any other senator, and this to me is a huge distinction. Tell me your thoughts about how we need to get people aware of how it affects them, you know, at the foreclosure level, at the level where it affects them, you know, across the kitchen table.
Well, you know, the big one right now, we're about 30 days away from the interest rate on student loans doubling. Scott Brown, by the way, voted to let that happen twice in the last 4 weeks. But that's what we're going to have to get out and talk about. You know, the other thing we should be talking about is, why doesn't Scott Brown reveal who's on his New York Finance Committee? Why won't he tell where his money comes from? I think we just have to keep pushing on him for this.
Well, J.P. Morgan Chase probably.
Well, that might be a problem. But if that's the case, then he ought to have to own up to that. You know, Scott Brown has been named one of Wall Street's favorite senators for a reason. And we just need to make sure that the folks here in Massachusetts know exactly what those reasons are.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.